Hello students, I am V. Ellen Swarupini, lecturer in biochemistry from Sri Venkateswara College of Arts and Sciences, which is affiliated to Adhikavan Nallaya University, Rajahmundry. Now, I would like to discuss about second BSc Biochemistry third semester paper, that is enzymology and bioenergetics, and from the unit 3 mechanism of enzyme action, let's see few topics. Okay, and the first topic is multi-enzyme complex. So these multi-enzyme complexes are stable assemblies of more than one enzyme, generally involved in sequential catalytic transformations. Okay, multi-enzyme complexes are stable assemblies of more than one enzyme. Means more than one enzyme, around 2 to 3 enzymes or around 10 enzymes are arranged in a sequential manner. Okay, and these all enzymes are arranged in a sequence, and this particular component is called as multi-enzyme complex, and each enzyme has its individual activity. Okay, so finally this multi-enzyme complex are involved in the sequential catalytic transformations. That means series of catalytic reactions are seen from this multi-enzyme complexes. Okay, fatty acyl CoA synthase is a example of 6 enzymes that assembled in a barrel shape to generate fatty acids. Okay, fatty acyl coenzyme A synthase is a multi-enzyme complex, and it contains 6 enzymes. 6 individual enzymes are arranged in a sequential manner, and that particular complex is called as fatty acyl CoA synthase multi-enzyme complex, and this particular fatty acyl CoA synthase complex is helpful in the generation of fatty acid. That means in the production or synthesis of fatty acids. Okay, pyruvate is converted to acetyl coenzyme A by oxidative decarboxylation. This is an irreversible reaction catalyzed by a multi-enzyme complex known as pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. Okay, here pyruvate, which is produced by the process of glycolysis from glucose, is converted into acetyl coenzyme A. Okay, and this is converted into acetyl coenzyme A by the reaction oxidative decarboxylation. Okay, if oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvate happened, what will happen? This pyruvate is converted into acetyl CoA. Okay, and this is an irreversible reaction. Irreversible reaction means if the product form, it cannot be again converted into its original product. Okay, and this particular reaction of oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvate is catalyzed by the multi-enzyme complex, that is pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. Okay, so here 2 examples of multi-enzyme complexes were given, and the first one is fatty acyl CoA synthase, and the second one is pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. Fatty acyl CoA synthase is responsible for the production of fatty acids in which 6 enzymes were arranged in a sequential manner, and it is a barrel shaped enzyme. Okay, it is arranged, all the 6 enzymes are arranged in such a way that this multi-enzyme complex resembles a barrel shape. And coming to pyruvate dehydrogenase complex, this is a multi-enzyme complex which converts pyruvate into acetyl coenzyme A by the oxidative decarboxylation reaction. Okay, and this is found in mitochondria. Okay. High activities of pyruvate dehydrogenase complex are found in cardiac muscle and kidney. Okay. This pyruvate dehydrogenase activity is very high in cardiac muscles and also in the kidneys. That means pyruvate dehydrogenase multi-enzyme complex is highly active in cardiac muscle and in kidney. Okay, and the enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase requires 5 cofactors or coenzymes. They are thiamine pyrophosphate, lipoamide, flavin adenine dinucleotide, coenzyme A, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, that is NAD+. So these are the cofactors essential for the activity of this pyruvate dehydrogenase. What are they? Thiamine pyrophosphate, which we call it as TPP. Okay, simply we call it as TPP. And the next one is lipoamide. Lipoamide is also a essential cofactor for the activity of the multi-enzyme complex pyruvate dehydrogenase. And the third essential coenzyme or cofactor is flavin adenine dinucleotide. Flavin adenine dinucleotide, FAD+. Okay. And the fourth cofactor for this required for this pyruvate dehydrogenase is coenzyme A. Coenzyme A is also essential for the pyruvate dehydrogenase. And the fifth one is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, it is NAD+. So these 5 are the cofactors or the coenzymes which are essential for the activity of this pyruvate dehydrogenase, which is a multi-enzyme complex. So let's see. Lipoamide contains lipolic acid linked to amino acid of the lysine. So here in these cofactors we have lipoamide. So what is this lipoamide? These are lipolic acid which is linked to the lysine amino acid. Okay, that means this lipoamide is a combination of lipolic acid with amino acid lysine. Okay, if we see the reaction of this pyruvate dehydrogenase, pyruvate is converted into acetyl coenzyme A, and in this reaction NAD+, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide coenzyme A are being utilized, and also after the reaction, what will happen? Acetyl CoA is formed along with the one carbon dioxide and one NADH plus H plus. Okay, so this is the reaction. Here the intermediate of pyruvate dehydrogenase catalyzed reaction are not free but bound with the enzyme complex. That means the intermediates of the other intermediates of pyruvate dehydrogenase catalyzed reaction, these are not free but they will be attached with the enzyme complex. Okay, in mammals the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex, we can call it as PDH, pyruvate. D is denoted with D and hydrogen is denoted with H. So PDH complex has an appropriate molecular weight of 9 into 10 to the power of 6. Okay, so its molecular weight in mammals. Okay, pyruvate dehydrogenase multi-enzyme complex molecular weight in mammals is around 9 into 10 to the power of 6, and it contains 60 molecules of dihydrolipoyl transacetylase. Okay, as this pyruvate dehydrogenase is a multi-enzyme complex, it contains 60 molecules of dihydrolipoyl transacetylase and about 20 to 30 molecules each of the other two enzymes, that is pyruvate dehydrogenase and dihydrolipoyl dehydrogenase, are also present. Okay, that means 60 molecules of dihydrolipoyl trans-acetylase and 20 to 30 molecules of pyruvate dehydrogenase will be attached to each other. Okay, pyruvate dehydrogenase is a good example for end product inhibition. End product inhibition means while if a reaction happened, okay, so take glycolysis as an example. Okay, why I am explaining glycolysis means this is the best known enzyme or reaction that you know. Okay, so whenever this glucose is converted into pyruvate with series of reactions, here if pyruvate is produced in very high content, that means if concentration of pyruvate is very high, and that means glycolysis process is very rapid and pyruvate production is very high, then due to the accumulation of the pyruvate in that particular cell, pyruvate itself will inhibit the action of the any component which is present in the what we call a glycolysis process. Okay, so that is called end product inhibition. So here end product is pyruvate. It will inhibit the reaction process by which that particular end product is being produced. So this is called as end product inhibition. And example acetyl CoA and NADH. So pyruvate dehydrogenase is best example for end product inhibition. And besides this, PDH is also regulated by phosphorylation and dephosphorylation. Okay, so pyruvate dehydrogenase enzyme is not only meant for end product inhibition. This is also regulated by phosphorylation and dephosphorylation. Okay, phosphorylation means addition of a phosphate group and dephosphorylation means removal of a phosphate group. So now let's see biochemical importance of pyruvate dehydrogenase. So of course pyruvate dehydrogenase is a multi-enzyme complex, and it is best example for end product inhibition, and it is responsible for phosphorylation and dephosphorylation. So what is the importance of this pyruvate dehydrogenase, or what is the importance of the function of this pyruvate dehydrogenase? Let's see. Lack of thymine pyrophosphate, and this will be due to the deficiency of thymine. It inhibits pyruvate dehydrogenase activity, resulting in the accumulation of pyruvate. Okay, so thymine pyrophosphate, this is a coenzyme or cofactor for the activity of pyruvate dehydrogenase. It is TPP, and if this TPP is not available for the activity of this pyruvate dehydrogenase, that means for the activity of pyruvate dehydrogenase, TPP is required. If this TPP is not available due to the deficiency of thymine, okay, here this thymine pyrophosphate is produced from thymine base. So if deficiency of thymine is there, obviously this thymine pyrophosphate is not produced, and pyruvate dehydrogenase will lack this TPP, and due to lack of the TPP, it will inhibit pyruvate dehydrogenase activity. Okay, it will inhibit pyruvate dehydrogenase activity. Then what will happen? Pyruvate is not converted into, here you have seen the reaction, no, pyruvate is converted into acetyl CoA. So for the activity of the pyruvate dehydrogenase, it requires TPP, and TPP is not available due to the lack of thymine, which is responsible for the production of TPP. So ultimately what will happen, this pyruvate which is synthesized, which is produced by the glycolysis is not converted into acetyl-CoA, and ultimately what will happen, accumulation of pyruvate will be observed. Okay, accumulation of pyruvate will be observed. So okay, in the thymine deficient alcoholics, pyruvate is rapidly converted into lactate, resulting in lactic acidosis. Okay, so generally people who are alcoholics, that means who take alcohol in high amounts, in that particular person's thymine deficiency is very common. Okay, thymine deficiency is very common in alcohols, and due to lack of thymine what will happen, TPP will not be produced, and this will impact the action of pyruvate dehydrogenase on pyruvate, and as the pyruvate is not converted into acetyl-CoA, this pyruvate is converted into lactate. Okay, this is the alternative pathway for the pyruvate. Okay, so this pyruvate is converted into lactate, and by overproduction of this lactate, finally lactic acidosis will be occurred in that particular person. Okay, lactic acidosis will be occurred, and in patients with inherited deficiency of arsenic and mercuric ions with SH groups of lipolic acid, if you see the reaction here, pyruvate is converted into a CO2 molecule is released from the pyruvate with the action of this pyruvate dehydrogenase along with the TPP. Okay, that means here TPP will act with the pyruvate dehydrogenase on pyruvate to form hydroxymethyl TPP. Okay, and finally what will happen, acetyl-CoA will be formed. If you see the reaction, here acetyl-CoA CH3 C double bond O SCOA is produced. Okay, it is released from this reaction. Okay, and here in patients with inherited deficiency of arsenic and mercuric ions with this SH group of lipolic acid also, this particular pyruvate dehydrogenase is not actively in the catalyzation reaction. Okay, so this is about pyruvate dehydrogenase as an example for the multi-enzyme complex. Okay, and the next topic is isoenzymes. The multiple forms of enzymes catalyzing in the same reactions are called as isoenzymes. Okay, these are multi forms of enzymes catalyzing in the same reaction. Okay, that means these are multi forms of enzymes, that means different enzymes, but these are catalyzed in the same reaction, and those particular multiple forms of enzymes are called as isoenzymes. Okay, example is lactate dehydrogenase. So if you see the example, you can get a better idea. Okay, so if you see this tabular form, here different isoenzymes of lactate dehydrogenase are present. Here lactose dehydrogenase 1 LDH1 and lactose dehydrogenase 2 lactate dehydrogenase 3 lactate dehydrogenase 4 and lactate dehydrogenase 5. These are the isoenzymes of lactate dehydrogenase. Okay, so let's get back to the explanation part. Okay, they differ in their physical and chemical properties, which include their structure, electrophoretic and immunological properties, K3 and Vmax values, and pH, optimum pH value, and relative stability to inhibitors and degree of denaturation. So these are the different kinds of chemical properties which are different for all the isoenzymes. Okay, so structurally all the isomers are different with each other, and their electrophoretic and immunological properties are also different. And if you see the Km and Vmax values of the isoenzymes, these are also vary from each isoenzyme. Sorry, here I am getting the word isomers, it is isoenzymes. Okay, and also optimum pH values of each isoenzyme is also different, and relative susceptibility to inhibitors, that means ability to withstand with the inhibitors is also different with each of the isoenzyme. And also degree of denaturation. Denaturation means to get separator or to get lysis. Okay, so denaturation degree is also different in each isoenzyme. So these particular isoenzymes have different physical and chemical properties. They differ in both physical and chemical properties. Okay, only the catalyzation process is similar in them. Okay, so see, here we are taking lactate dehydrogenase as an example for isoenzyme, and we are going to understand these isoenzymes in a better way. Okay, so let's start. Among many isoenzymes, lactate dehydrogenase has been the most thoroughly investigated isoenzyme. Okay, so in our nature we have many isoenzymes. Okay, we have many kinds of isoenzymes. Okay, and from all those many isoenzymes, this lactate dehydrogenase is the most investigated, that means most researched isoenzyme, and we know better about this particular isoenzyme when compared to the other isoenzymes we have in the nature. Okay, and lactate dehydrogenase systematic name is L-lactate NAD plus oxidoreductase. Okay, so according to Enzyme Commission, this systematic name of lactate dehydrogenase is L-lactate NAD plus oxidoreductase. That means this enzyme systematically named like this, and its Enzyme Commission number is 1.2.7. Okay, 1.2.7 EC 1.2.7. and catalysis the interconversion of lactate and pyruvate. So actually, what is the function of this lactate dehydrogenase? It is the interconversion of lactate and pyruvate. If you see the reaction, this lactic acid, or you can call it as lactate. Okay, so lactic acid is converted into pyruvic acid. Okay, and this is catalyzed by the isoenzyme lactate dehydrogenase, and it requires NAD plus ions for its activity, and pyruvic acid is formed. Lactate dehydrogenase have 5 distinct isomers. It have 5 distinct isomers, and they are namely LDH1, LDH2, LDH3, LDH4 and LDH5. Okay, and how we can identify these 5 kinds of isomers of lactate dehydrogenase can be achieved by separation process called electrophoresis. Okay, electrophoresis, if we carry on this electrophoresis for lactate dehydrogenase isomers, we can easily separate these 5 different isomers of lactate dehydrogenase. And for carrying of this electrophoresis, we can use cellulose or starch or agarose gel. Okay, any gel can be used to separate these. That means electrophoresis is a biochemical technique, okay, which utilizes electricity, and it is a charge based separation technique. Okay, that means based on the charge, separation will be carried in electrophoresis. And for this electrophoresis, what we'll do? Firstly, we'll take a gel material. We'll select a proper gel material, suitable gel material for the separation of the lactate dehydrogenase. Okay, and coming to suitable gels, it might be cellulose gel or starch gel or agarose gel. Anything is suitable for the separation. Okay, and we'll prepare gel slurry and we'll pour in the casting gel, okay, casting tank. And what will happen? We'll place a comb to provide wells for the lactate dehydrogenase samples, and we'll also add few components like ethidium bromide or bromophenol blue for the visualization purpose. And we'll also pour some buffer to the gel material, and we'll add the sample. Okay, and we'll connect the cathode and anode terminal so that current will be passed, and based on the current charge, this LDH will be separated. And after run of the gel, what will happen? We'll disconnect the circuits and we'll check that particular gel, okay, under UV spect. Okay, so this is how we can carry electrophoresis process for the separation of LDH. And while carrying this process, we should take utmost care, and we should handle gel very carefully. And while loading the sample also, we should take careful measures so that sample is properly added into the well, and it should not be placed outside the well. Okay, so we should also add glycerol or sucrose to give some weight, molecular weight to the sample. Okay, so these are the general precautions that we take during the electrophoresis process. And this is about electrophoresis. Okay, and lactate dehydrogenase 1 has more positive charge and fastest in electrophoretic mobility, while lactate dehydrogenase 5 is the slowest. Okay, so as we discussed earlier, these particular isomers are completely different in their physical characters and also in the chemical characters. Okay, they are structurally different, and also coming to their function also, it will differ with each other. Okay, and this LDH1 is more positive, it is more positive charge, it carries more positive charge, whereas LDH5 is will have lesser positive charge. Okay, and its electrophoretic mobility is very high. Okay, that means as we carried this electrophoresis for separation of LDH based on the electrophoretic mobility, that means based on the charge, this particular LDHs will be separated. So this LDH1 will be moved very fast in the gel. Okay, LDH1 will move faster in the gel, whereas this LDH file will move very slowly. So this electrophoresis will help us, or the electrophoretic mobility of the LDH will help us to identify each isomer separately in the electrophoretic gel that is separated after the electrophoresis technique. Okay, so now let's see the structure of lactate dehydrogenase. Structure of lactate dehydrogenase. Lactate dehydrogenase is a tetrameric enzyme made up of 4 polypeptide subunits. Okay, it is a tetrameric enzyme and it is made up of 4 polypeptide subunits. 4 polypeptide subunits. Okay, and 2 types of subunits, namely M, which is denoted for muscle, and H, denoted for heart, are produced by different genes. Okay, that means it contains 2 different subunits which meant for muscle and for heart, and these 2 subunits are produced by different genes. Okay, here if you see LDH, even the subunits of these LDH isomers are produced from different genes, and not same gene is producing the all subunits of the lactate dehydrogenase. Okay, and isoenzymes contain either one or both the subunits. Okay, isoenzymes contain either one or both the subunits, giving lactate dehydrogenase 1 to lactate dehydrogenase 5. Okay, that means these M subunit or H subunit will be varying in the LDH1 to LDH5. It may contain 1 subunit or 2 subunits, like that. Okay, M subunit is basic while H subunit is acidic. That means M subunit is basic in nature and will have high pH, and this H subunit is acidic in nature and have low pH value. Okay, if you see this tabular form, you can better understand these isoenzymes of lactate dehydrogenase. And here LDH1, this contains 4 subunits, and all the 4 subunits are related to heart. Okay, so here if you see H for heart. Okay, so H, and we can call LDH1 as H4. We can represent the subunits of this LDH as H4. Okay, and here principal tissue of origin, that means these are produced from RBC and heart. Okay, and its electrophoretic mobility is faster. Okay, its electrophoretic mobility is faster, and these are not easily destroyed by heat at the around 60 degrees centigrade temperature. Also, these are not easily destroyed, and 25% of percentage of LDH1 is around 25% in the human serum. Okay, and coming to LDH2, it contains 3 H subunits and 1 M subunit. H subunit means heart subunit and M subunit means muscle subunit. Okay, here muscle subunit is mentioned as circle. Okay, just once observe this. Okay, if you see the subunits of LDH2, one is muscle, one will represent muscle, and the other 3 are for heart, and origin is in heart and RBC as usual of this LDH1. Okay, and its electrophoretic mobility is also faster like LDH1, but we can differ this LDH1 and 2 with the subunits. It has 4 heart subunits and this LDH2 has 3 heart subunits, and LDH1 doesn't contain any muscle subunit and LDH2 contain 1 muscle subunit. Okay, so and coming to the denaturation at 60 degrees centigrade also, it is not easily denatured or destroyed, and its percentage in human serum is around 35%. Okay, and coming to LDH3, it contains two subunits equally, that means H2M2, that means two heart subunits and two muscle subunits, and we can represent this LDH3 subunit as H2M2. Okay, and origin is from brain and kidneys. This LDH3 is origin from brain and kidney, and its electrophoretic mobility is fast and not faster. That means it is little slower when compared to LDH1 and LDH2. Okay, its electrophoretic mobility is little slow when compared to LDH1 and LDH2, and faster when compared to LDH4 and LDH5. Okay, and at 60 degrees temperature, this LDH3 can be partially destroyed. Okay, that means it's partially it will be destroyed for little amount. Okay, and its percentage in human serum is 27%. Okay, that means the percentage here represents total LDH content. In the total LDH content of the human plasma, LDH3 is 27% and LDH2 is 35% and LDH1 is 25%. Okay, don't get confused with this point. Okay, and the next one is LDH4. Here next one is LDH4. In this LDH4, subunits are one heart subunit is present and three muscle subunits are present. Okay, it can be denoted as subunits of LDH4 is denoted as HN3, and its origin site is liver and skeletal muscles. Okay, liver and skeletal muscles, and its electrophoretic mobility is slow when compared to LDH1, 2 and 3, and this LDH4 can easily destroyed at 60 degrees of temperature. Okay, if temperature is around 60 degrees, this particular LDH4 is easily destroyed. Okay, and coming to its percentage in human serum, it is 8%. And the last one is LDH5, and it has only muscle subunits, that is M4. All the 4 subunits are related to muscle, and its origin site is skeletal muscle and liver as usual of LDH4. Okay, and its electrophoretic mobility is also slow, and it can also be easily destroyed at 60 degrees centigrade, and its plasma percentage is around 5%. Okay, so this is about all the 5 types of lactate dehydrogenase isoenzymes. Okay, so what we have discussed in this class about isoenzymes and also about multi-enzyme complexes. Okay, what are multi-enzyme complexes? These are the enzyme complexes which are arranged in a sequential manner, and these will form a series of catalytic reactions. Okay, best example is fatty acyl CoA synthase and pyruvate dehydrogenase. Okay, and we mostly discuss about this pyruvate dehydrogenase, and this is one of the best example excuse me, one of the best example for this multi-enzyme complexes. And this pyruvate dehydrogenase requires 5 cofactors for its activity, that is TPP, lipoamide, FAD, coenzyme A and NAD+. Okay, and this FAD is responsible for the conversion of pyruvate into acetyl CoA with the help of these 5 cofactors. Okay, and the other important points, let's see about the importance. Okay, biochemical importance. Due to lack of thymine, this TPP will excuse me, will not be produced in a few individuals, and that will lead to accumulation of pyruvate, and pyruvate dehydrogenase will not catalyze any pyruvate, and it will be accumulated. And also in alcoholics also this thymine deficiency is seen, and TPP is not produced, and pyruvate dehydrogenase activity is not seen, and pyruvate is accumulated. And in patients with the deficiency of arsine and mercuric ions also, the lipolic acid is not available, and due to lack of the lipolic acid, which is a cofactor for the pyruvate dehydrogenase, it is not it doesn't undergo the catalytic reaction, and pyruvate will be accumulated. And this is the reaction. Pyruvate is converted into acetyl CoA ultimately by the action of this pyruvate dehydrogenase. Okay. And here isoenzymes. Isoenzymes are the multiple forms of enzymes catalyzing the same reaction. They catalyze the same reaction, but they are different in both physical and chemical nature. Okay. They doesn't have any similarities in the physical or in structural way or in any chemical properties. Okay. So they have all they differ in structure, electrophoretic movement, and immunological properties, and Km and Vmax values will be different. Optimum pH value is also different for all the isoenzymes, and relative susceptibility to inhibitors is also different for all the isoenzymes, and degree of denaturation is also different for all the isoenzymes. And best example for isoenzyme is lactate dehydrogenase. It is most widely researched isoenzyme till date, and if we see its name, it is L-lactate NAD plus oxidoreductase. Its enzyme commission number is EC1.2.7, and it shows activity on this lactic acid to form pyruvic acid. Okay. And if you see about this isoenzymes, these can be easily separated through electrophoresis process, and based on the electrophoretic mobility we can identify the 5 different isoenzymes. And coming to the differences of these 5 isoenzymes, this LDH is a tetrameric compound. It has 4 subunits, and based on the subunits and electrophoretic movement and percentage of this particular LDH isomer in the human serum, we can identify these different isoenzymes. Okay, just see about this tabular form once. LDH1 is a H4 subunit, and LDHs will have 2 kinds of subunits. These are made up of 2 kinds of subunits, that is heart and muscle, and LDH1 is related to heart. Okay, H4, and its origin is at heart and RBC, and it has faster electrophoretic mobility, and at 60 degrees temperature also it is not easily destroyed, and it is of 25% in the human serum. And coming to LDH2, it is made of 3 heart subunits and 1 muscle subunit, and this is denoted as H3M subunit, and origin is heart and RBC, and it also have a higher faster electrophoretic mobility, and it is also not easily destroyed at 60 degrees centigrade, and its percentage in human serum is 35%. And LDH3 is made up of 2 heart and 2 muscle subunits. We can denote it as H2M2, and its origin is in brain and kidney. It has fast electrophoretic mobility, little less compared to LDH1 and LDH2, and it is partially destroyed at 60 degrees of temperature, and its percentage in human serum is around 27%. And LDH4 is made of 1 heart and 3 muscle subunits, and it is denoted as HM3, and its origin site is liver and skeletal muscle, and its electrophoretic mobility is slow, and it can easily destroyed at 60 degrees centigrade, and its percentage in human serum is 8%. And coming to LDH5, this LDH5 is completely made of 4 muscle subunits, and it is denoted as M4, and its origin site is also similar to that of LDH4, that is liver and skeletal muscles, and it is also slow like LDH4 in its electrophoretic mobility, and also it is easily destroyed at 60 degrees of temperature, and its percentage in human serum is 5%. So this is all about multi-enzyme complex. Okay, that is, in multi-enzyme complex we discussed about pyruvate dehydrogenase PDH, and in isoenzymes we discussed about lactate dehydrogenase, this is LDH. Okay, so don't get confused with the two examples, and please keep the material with you while listening to the class. Please listen to the previous classes also. Okay, we are heading to the third unit, so just once again listen all the first unit and second unit classes. So if you have any doubt, please contact me. Thank you, students.